about this. We are now 13 months away from an election in November. And we are completely consumed in the media by one office and two people. Do we really understand that there are 469 seats in Congress up for election in November? 469 seats in Congress up for election in November. There are over 30,000 seats in state and local government up for election in November. That's probably a very, very conservative estimate. Knowing that, how is it that we can be so consumed by one office and two people? Because we simply don't have the proper understanding of government. We don't have the proper understanding of the role of government. And so when you have simply a singular federal focus, it can seem a bit overwhelming. I mean, do you ever feel overwhelmed at the level of corruption that you see in Washington, D.C.? And think, you know, I would love to get up and do something, but what exactly can I do as one person? Well, in several of the history lessons that I do teach, I teach about a man named James Otis Jr. James Otis Jr. was lovingly nicknamed by our framers as the midwife to liberty. And in 1761, James Otis Jr. stood alone. There were no committees of correspondence yet, no Sons of Liberty, no liberty movement at all. He stood alone against the government, was charged with treason, threatened with death, outcast by his community, blacklisted by his profession. And he said, I cheerfully accept every odious name for conscience sake. Because you see, for our framers, liberty was worth more than their life, more than their fortune, but more than their name and their reputation. See, these are the things that we lack in America today, is this understanding of liberty and the resolve to its preservation. But James Otis Jr. alone, in February of 1761, birthed our independence movement. If it hadn't been for him, our independence would have probably taken place a lot later, if at all, and we could very well be subjects of a kingdom. On paper, not in practice. Because you realize that our federal government operates as if we are subjects. But you see, the important factor here is two things. Legal authority and assumed authority. We are operating on an assumption of authority with the federal government. It does not change it into a legal authority, it's just an assumed authority.